Hi, I'm Brett Godfrey, and I'm here with our third video in a series on stress management for litigators. We're in the block of stressors that we call knowledge stressors, and this one will be based on the kind of pressure, the kind of worry and dread that comes from being unsure of your deadlines. We all feel it. We all have cases where we're thinking to ourselves, gosh, I haven't looked at the Jones case in a while. I wonder how much time remains for me to endorse my expert witnesses. Or is there still time to take depositions in the case, given that some of them are hard to schedule? Do I have the time necessary to prepare this step, that step, the next step? But you don't know what your deadlines are. So how do you deal with that? How do you keep track of maybe 15 to 20 deadlines that might exist in a case when you have 20 other cases or 50 other cases or God forbid more? How do you manage that knowledge so that you're walking around aware of what needs to happen next? Well, the solution is going to seem so simple that you'll think, I don't need a video to tell me that, but I want to tell you that anyway. And this is what you do. First, you make a list of all your cases. Hopefully you've got all that in a computerized database somewhere where you can filter out of the firm database the files you're handling. Then order them alphabetically, start at the top, and work your way down the list. Take a case and make sure that you have read all of the deadlines that are inherent in the rules. And by that I mean, most importantly, the deadlines that you will find in Rules 16 and 26 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure and their state analogs. 2, or B, the deadlines that exist as a result of the judge's standing orders or practice standards, which will usually add a whole lot of other additional deadlines, such as the deadline for joinder of parties, amendment of pleadings, deadline for completing mandatory alternative dispute resolution or mediation, etc., etc. And you make sure that you've written them all down and that those are listed not only in the case, but you have them on your calendar. But what's really important is to be able to see them all at once so that when you're doing your case planning, you're alert to the lead time. So for example, if I'm 60 days away from the end of discovery or the discovery cutoff, on the 60-day before that happens point, I am now beginning stage 3 in our case management system that you'll see other videos about in this channel. But if I know that I have 60 days left to get my discovery done, and I haven't even deposed all of the precipient or lay witnesses yet, and maybe I've only endorsed, or at least listed in my own private notes, half of the experts I'm going to need, then I'm kind of in trouble. So what I need to do is start that process earlier. And I can do that by having checklists that I follow where I apply the checklist task to each case that it is relevant for, and then put an internal deadline with ticklers in my system, in my calendar system, and in my task tracking system. But once I know all those deadlines, I can use those internal deadlines as a way of sequencing my work logically so that I do the things that have the most importance and the longest lead times first, so that when the deadline runs, I'm long since ready. I've met the deadline, or I will be able to meet the deadline. As I work through each file and making sure all those internal deadlines are set and those internal task cutoff points are set, so that when my task list is reordered based on my internal due dates, I just follow that sequence. I do a task, I do a task, I do a task. Every time I'm done with it, I check it off as done, and I bill for it. And by doing that, I set up this beautiful workflow where I'm not running around scared to death that I'm about to blow a deadline I don't even know about. Attention to detail is important. We have another video just on that. But if you've done that, if you've got the ideal caseload, which was the subject of the last video, and you are monitoring your deadlines and planning your tasks according to those deadlines, that source of stress, gone. I'm Brett Godfrey. Thanks for listening.